iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Everyone, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. All right, so I want to tell you guys that yesterday I had the pleasure of going to the Team USA against the Boston Red Sox game. So I want to just give you some news and notes that I saw there, and I'll pass it on to you. First of all, for the Red Sox, Jackie Bradley hit a home run to right field. It looked effortless. Really, it was an easy swing, made nice contact, and the ball got out of it and stayed in quickly. So I think Jackie Bradley is a little undervalued, and I'm not basing that on one home run. I'm basing it on, I think he is a legitimate hitter. Now, I don't know if we're ever going to see double-digit speed with Jackie Bradley, but I think another year of 260, batting average of 260 and 20 to 25 home runs seems very realistic. He is a great outfielder. They are never taking him out for defensive purposes. So he looked good. Craig Kimbrell looked very good. He was hitting 97. Right on the radar gun. When a guy's hitting 97, I'm interested. Ball was popping. Boom, 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 boom. It's good stuff, right? So that's what you want to see. Robbie Ross looked very good. He's going to be their left-handed setup guy. I don't know if maybe in a league with holds he has some value. In most leagues he won't pitch enough, but I thought he looked pretty good. Pablo Sandoval, I'm not going to call him slim. I'm not going to call him trim, but he looked okay. I'm not drafting him. I think he's like a candy bar, a lot of empty calories. I'm not getting a lot of anything there, but he certainly looked better than I was expecting. For Team USA, some observations. First of all, Paul Goldschmidt is a really good first baseman. I know he's a great hitter, but he made a couple of defensive plays that were pretty good. He had one hop there. I was like, wow, that was a nice play. Nolan Arenado jacked one right down the line there. It's a nice hit. He looked good defensively, too. I was just thinking to myself watching, like, Goldschmidt, Arenado. Does a team get better than that at the corners? That's pretty amazing. Danny Murphy was good, not great. Brandon Crawford looked like he was a linebacker more than he was a shortstop. I'm used to, like, these skinny guys at shortstop, and Crawford wasn't that. But Giancarlo Stanton is a mountain of a man. This is a really big, strong guy. And just by looking at him, you're like, wow, man, this guy, you know why he could hit 40 home runs. He could hit 40 home runs by accident. I don't see the speed there. Maybe I'm wrong, but this guy is so big. I mean, this is like a truck. I just don't see how the Marlins, I know we talk about him, well, he could steal 10 bases. Maybe with tactical speed, but I'm not risking it if I'm the Marlins. No way, no how, no chance. The guy I was actually most impressed with was Christian Yelich. He's looking like he's ready to take that next step. He had some really good cuts. He had good cuts against Kimbrel. He had a real shot. Was it against Kimbrel? Maybe a shot against Kimbrel that went out to deep center field. He looked good against Robbie Ross, against a lefty. He was a tough lefty. He had a good cut there. I think the ball looked like it was jumping off his bat. And Yelich is a pretty big dude himself. So I left there thinking, this could be a year for Christian Yelich. He could have a year. I think he's a really, really smart third, fourth round pick. I like what I saw there, and I feel comfortable with Yelich as a guy that I'm definitely touting this year. I think he's good. All right, it's time now to move on to our podcasts. So we're going to talk about the Oakland A's today. And this team is kind of a mess. It really is. I just don't even know what to make of this team. I'll give you some guys. I don't really love a lot of these guys. This is like a bad jigsaw puzzle. You're looking at, does this piece go here? I don't know. I mean, just the names aren't special. Stephen Vaught is the catcher. And Vaught, a couple of years ago, was very good. Right? In 2015, he was good. 2016, not as good. I don't know if he's going to be as good as he was in 2015. I think we're buying into that. I don't think he's a special player. Bruce Maxwell is of interest to me. In AAA, the guy hit 321. So if he wins the job as a backup catcher, I like him. Josh Phegley hits lefties well. He may stick. So I'm actually more interested to see who the backup catcher is here. I'm just not sold on Stephen Vaught. Stephen Vaught hits righties. He's their guy against righties. But against lefties, it will be Maxwell or Phegley. And keep your eye on Maxwell. I think he's interesting. First base looks to be Yonder Alonso, who, man, I just couldn't imagine why anybody's starting this guy at first base. I don't see it. The other option is Ryan Healy, who I think would be a good option at first base. I do. I think he makes a lot of sense to me because right now they have Trevor Plouffe at third. So I'd like to see Ryan Healy at first base, but I think it will be Yonder Alonso because he's a little better defensively and you might be able to use Healy as a DH. I just don't know how they're going to figure it out. This guy is not a very good player, but they haven't sunk a lot of money into him. I would think that you're going to see a split because that's what the A's do. They platoon. Healy will go against lefties at first, and Alonso will go against righties. And then maybe Vaught will play against righties at catcher, and then maybe Healy will be the DH. I think that makes the most sense to me. But who knows? Seriously, who knows? Jed Lowry's the second baseman there. And a million years, I don't know why you'd want him. I mean, this guy hasn't been good since 2013. I mean, he was good in 2013. Hasn't been in 3 years. That's what we call a decline. I want no part of this guy. No part. Not interested. What I do think is going to happen, and let me give you a name. Going to give you a name. Franklin Barreto. Okay? Franklin Barreto is close. He's close. Okay? So, in Double-A, he hit 281 with 10 home runs and 50 RBIs. He really hasn't had enough time at AAA, and the A's need him there. So, what I think is going to happen is that Barreto will be, I think, the second baseman of the future because I don't think Lowry makes it to the All-Star break. Get rid of Lowry, bring in Barreto, and then figure out what to do between him and Marcus Semien. So Marcus Semien is a good player. I like him a lot. Okay? Not a great average guy, but home runs, yes. Stolen bases, yes. Runs scored, yes. He's 26 years old. He's good. I mean, the average is a killer. That's the problem. He's like a four-category player, but I do like him. The question is, where do they want to keep him? If he's a shortstop, Barreto goes second. If he goes second, Barreto goes to shortstop. So I think that's what we're looking at here with them. They've got other guys. You know, Matt Chapman is close. Matt Chapman can really, really hit the ball. I like Matt Chapman. I think that this team is like a year away from being really good. Matt Olson, another good young hitter, a really good young hitter. So doesn't hit for a high average, but man, he can rake. So here's some guys. Matt Olson, Franklin Barreto, Matt Chapman. These are guys that I think you're going to see as the year goes on with this team. I think Chad Pinder's interesting. He's interesting. He's another guy that I think can emerge. Renato Nunez, 22 years old. He's a very good hitter. He struggled last year with his average, but he hit 23 home runs in AAA. So I'm going to look at him. So what I'm trying to say with you at the A's is this. Alonso, Lowry, Plouffe, Semien. Semien's the only guy who's going to make it. By the end of the season, I don't think you're going to recognize the Oakland A's. Whether it's Pinder, Renato Nunez, Matt Chapman, Matt Olson, Franklin Barreto, you're going to see other guys in there because the A's need to start breaking them in. And I think these guys are stopgap guys. Lowry, Alonso, Plouffe, they're just stopgap guys. I guess I get why they got Plouffe. I mean, he makes sense. He's hitting very well in the spring. But Matt Chapman's got to come up. Matt Chapman's got to play. But I guess you don't want to bring Chapman up because, look, the A's, as we always joke, small market club, right? So we understand what it means to be a small market club. Small market club means that these guys are not going to be up anytime soon. Why? Because of Super 2. Because if I bring them up before June, I got to pay. Their time clock starts. So by bringing Plouffe in, at least through June, I can then bring Chapman in after. Right? So Lowry, Alonso, Plouffe, I think they're very safe through the All-Star break. Once the All-Star break hits, who knows what could happen? Seriously. Chris Davis is the best player. He's their best player. He's their best hitter. He's never going to hit for a high average, but he could easily, jack 42 home runs last year. He could jack 35 to 40 again. He's a very good player, and if you're in need of power, I'm a fan. They brought over Rajai Davis, who crushes lefties, and he brings stolen bases. He's no spring chicken. He's 36 years old, but he hits enough with enough power, and he's a very good defensive player. And this is a team that's going to play Rajai Davis every day. Now, he may not make it through the whole season, but he'll certainly make it until July, when they'll try to trade him to a contender. For sure, he's going to a contender. Right? 100% he's going with the contender. So I don't know who else is going to come up. I'm just looking at some of their outfielders here. Let's see. Yeah, Jacob Brugman. I'm just looking at this name. Right? He was protected in the Rule 5 draft. Could be a home in the center field. Right? I'm just throwing it out there. Who is Jacob Brugman? Well, last year in AAA, he hit .295 with 7 home runs and 67 RBIs. He might be a name. So why am I giving you the name of Brugman? I'm giving the name of Olsen and Brugman for the following reason. Davis, I say, is gone by July. Matt Joyce, I think, is gone. You could have an outfield of Chris Davis, Matt Olsen, and Brugman come August 1. There you have it. So in the right field, Matt Joyce is going to play against righties for sure. Okay? And against lefties, you'll have Mark Canha or Jake Smolinski. So they're absolutely going to be a platoon there. 100% going to be a platoon there. Between Joyce and Smolinski and Canha. Joyce only against righties. We never want to see him against a lefty. And the other two guys against a lefty, not a righty. Ryan Healy is going to be the DH for the most part. I like him. He's a very good hitter. The kid hit .305 with 13 home runs and 269 at-bats. Double that, and I think that's fair. I think we could see 25 home runs and 70 runs scored. He's a good player. You can build around Healy. You can build around Semien. You can build around Chris Davis. Those are guys you can win with. You can. You can win with those guys. But you also have to win with pitching. Okay? You have to let him win with pitching. And I think that's their biggest problem, is that their pitching is incredibly suspect. So at closer, I don't know if there's a true closer. I know it's Ryan Madson, but I don't believe it. You've got Sean Doolittle. You got Santiago Casilla. You got John Axford. You got Ryan Dull, who I like. So you have a lot of guys there who can get the job done. I wouldn't touch the A's closer if you paid me for it. Ryan Madson, do I think he's going to get 10 saves? Maybe. I don't know. I don't feel good about it. He's 36. He could close. But Sean Doolittle, I really liked before the season started last year. And, he's getting himself ready for game action. And what about Santiago Casilla, who they brought over from the Giants? He's 36. So this is an old, experienced bullpen. I like the kid Ryan Dull a lot. He's one I find very interesting. 74 innings, 73 strikeouts. His whip was .87. 73 strikeouts to 15 walks. I like him. He may be my favorite guy in that bullpen, but he's not going to get a chance to close when you have Madson, Doolittle, and Casilla and Axford in front of him. But I think if they start selling those pieces often, and once again, this is why the A's are a smart team. Madson, Doolittle, Casilla all have trade value. Some team will want them because they pitched before in pressure situations and they know what to do. They do. They know what to do. Keep an eye on a guy named Frankie Montas. He's in their plans. They like him a little bit. I don't know where he fits in, but he's a guy to watch. Sonny Gray is going to be out for the next 3 weeks. This guy's awful. Okay, he's dealing with a lat strain. Who knows? I just think you're going to see Sonny Gray maybe at the All-Star break. I want no part of him. None. Zero. Nada. Sean Manaea I like. Sean Manaea may be their number one starter. He's only 25 years old, but he looked very good in the second half of the year. He struggled in his first spring outing. That's fine. He's not that bad. People are, oh, he struggled. Okay. A lot of people struggle. It's Arizona in the spring. We all struggle. But he certainly could be their number one guy. Jarrell Cotton. That's a name you should remember. Jarrell Cotton's a good young pitcher. I think he's very undervalued. He was really good last year when he came up. 23 strikeouts, 4 walks. 4. All right? I like him. Kendall Graveman is interesting. Andrew Triggs. I wasn't sure if Andrew Triggs was going to make it, but now that Sonny Gray's out, I know they're talking about Jesse Hahn and Raul Alcantara and Ross Detweiler, but I think Andrew Triggs is legit. So, and how about Kendall Graveman? We've been talking about this guy forever. I mean, he's a guy who you can plug in. He's not my favorite, but I think it's Manaea, Graveman, Cotton, Triggs for sure. For sure. And then I think Jesse Hahn or Alcantara will get the spot. Alcantara's young. He's 24 years old. I don't know whether I like him. I like him a little bit. He's not special to me. Jesse Hahn has had good years in the past. Not that I trust him. Not that I trust him as far as I can throw him. When was Jesse Hahn's good year? Yeah, in 2015. He had 96 innings and 88 hits and 6. No, he's okay. He's okay. I mean, I think Hahn will be the guy. So I'm going to say Manaea, Cotton, Hahn, Triggs, Graveman. It's not a special staff. Luckily, they have a good bullpen. If these guys can go through the lineup twice and get them through 6 innings, I think that the A's would be very excited about that. They go 5-6 innings. You're bringing Casilla and Liam Hendricks and Ryan Dull for 6 innings and 7th inning, maybe 7th and 8th. And then you've got Axford, you got Doolittle, you got Madsen to finish it up. The A's can piece together a few wins while they're waiting for Frankie Montas, right? While they're waiting for guys to come up. But this team is a bit of a mess. And I think the problem is in years past, the A's had a lot of really good young prospects coming up. Now I think their guys are good, but not special. They're not special. So I think that's the big difference. Good prospects, not great ones. And right now I don't see how the A's can finish outside the cellar. I can't picture it. Just not enough talent on this team. But you know where there is talent? At scoutfantasy.com. There's plenty of talent. Sean Childs is talented. Adam Ronis is talented. This guy, Dr. Roto, is talented. 3 guys who have won high-stakes leagues, who've won expert leagues, who win most of the leagues they do. We're doling out the information for you for your seasonal fantasy teams. So please check out what we're doing at scoutfantasy.com. Enter the promo code ROTO. That's ROTO. You pay for 1 month. We get you 2 more months for free. It's that simple. And for DFS, Sean's putting his info up. I know Ronis will be there. I'll be doing some stuff. We've got Rob Gariak and SD Chicken, Steve Renner. We've got guys who are really putting, Dennis Roy, guys who are just putting their teams in there who want people to love DFS. And the message boards are a great place if you're learning about the game. We're here to help you learn the process. You got to learn the process before you can trust the process. It's easy to trust it, but not if you don't know it, right? But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. All right, I hope you enjoyed this podcast for the A's. Check out my stuff at Scout Fantasy. I've got my Fantasy in a Nutshell series. Sean Childs has team outlooks. They're like 1,000 words per player. Mine is only maybe 100, but sometimes you just need it in a nutshell. All right, guys, wishing you a great weekend. Be well, and take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!